We all wish we could bring our Disney vacation home with us, right? To have that Disney feeling every day? Well, why not start your day the Disney way with a Disney blend from Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company? With over 23 varieties to choose from the French bistro you find in your resort room to the Yachtsman Steakhouse and Gico, of course, and now Joffrey's newest Disney blend, Le Cellier. Why not start your day with that Disney magic? Order yours today at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the monorail station.
I'm glad I got that done.
Yeah.
Woo! Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar.
It's like I just said that. This is ResortLoop.com. This is the exciting DVC show.
And like I just said, because you weren't recording, we just squoze this one in.
That's what the underside of the bus looks like. Anyway.
Listen, 1 in 405 shows, because I think you did it.
We did it once. That wasn't my fault. It just didn't record for some reason. But yes, we've only had 2 fails.
His fault.
2 fails.
Wasn't his fault. Okay.
Now, but joining us on the show for the DVC Roundtable, we've got Brad Coates.
Hey, guys.
Running team captain. Hey, Brad. Running team captain Joe Quattrochi.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
And our other running team captain, Emily Hansa Hicks.
Woo, 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 woo.
Emily is our favorite running captain, by the way.
I think that's a Novocaine speaking right there.
I may have had a dental visit earlier. If I'm slurring my words, it's definitely not the beverage. It's definitely the Novocaine, right?
Absolutely.
Sure. Tim.
Yes.
What are we going to talk about today?
Well, today we're going to talk about what's going on with the DVC. We like to do this show once a month for anybody who's thinking of maybe renting points and staying at a resort, even making that big plunge into the world of DVC, Disney Vacation Club ownership.
Love it. Love it.
So we bring our guests together. We talk about some news and just whatever comes to mind. Bob, you want to start us off with some news going on?
Oh, we got news. Yes. Let me start this. This is the membership Magic Ever After program from the Disney Vacation Club. They're beginning it in 2017. I think it was before, but I'm not sure. The DVC Member Lounge at Epcot will continue as well with special events after hours. The Disney parks called Moonlight Magic, DVC up 20% merchandise, up to 20% off merchandise, I should say. Discounts will continue and all of that. So the Moonlight Magic at Magic Kingdom Park is sold out, so we don't even need to talk about it. No. Disney Vacation Club is throwing exciting after-hour celebrations at Magic Kingdom Park in early 2017. Jeez, did you give me some of that Novocaine, Emily?
Actually, I squirted you all with some Novocaine before the recording.
Nice.
Just to even the playing field.
Oh, my goodness. These parties are complimentary for Disney Vacation Club members and their special guests. So the highlights: enjoy an evening of enchantment, entertainment, and more as the park becomes your playground. Event highlights include access to select attractions throughout the park, exhilarating entertainment, appearances from some favorite Disney characters, a DJ dance party, and light refreshments. So,
speaking of favorites, I met Gaston on my last trip. Just throwing that out there. It was like everything I'd ever dreamed.
Did he do the one-arm push-up for you?
He didn't, but my daughters and I all pretended to swoon for him. So,
wow,
he thought it was extremely appropriate to have 3 blondes swooning.
Very nice, very nice. That's awesome. Yeah, just like the movie. Very cool.
I love it.
These events are February 24th and March 3rd. But again, both dates are sold out. So if you're going, congratulations, you're going. If you're not going, well, it's too late. We did this show a little too late. But available beginning at 7:30. The event is from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. So I guess you get in the park at 7:30. And get this. This is huge. You get complimentary parking.
Nice.
What?
Don't you?
I feel like you're just rubbing it in at this point.
They're
Bob.
practically giving it away.
Don't they give that anyway? I'm just asking.
Yeah,
There's complimentary bus service from your resort.
Right. From your awesome DVC place.
There is also that. So they also have a Moonlight Magic at Disney's Typhoon Lagoon Water Park. Those are in June and July. And Moonlight Magic at Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park. Take a walk on the wild side as Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park with complimentary events starting September. And then finally, the Moonlight Magic, like we touched on with the DVC lounge for everybody. Get into the holiday spirit at these complimentary events held at Epcot select nights in December. So
I think it's interesting how they're sort of staggering them through the year.
Sure.
And I'm interested to hear what we will hopefully be visiting during the Moonlight Magic at Typhoon Lagoon Water Park slot pre-cruise. And so I'm interested to hear what they're going to do there. I wish it was at a park because we tend to be park people rather than water park people. Yeah. But I guess June and July is a good place to be at a water park, or a good time to be in a water park.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is true.
So, and that one looks like it's going to be, maybe during the day. So, well, I guess it would have to be because
that's what they did the last time.
Yeah.
During the day.
Yeah. So you won't at least have to stay out super late for that one. So who's next? We got Emily's up next.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to tell you about the 2016 numbers because I'm a nerd. So, and these numbers all come from DVCnews.com. But this is basically about the sales numbers for Disney Vacation Club. In December, they released the quarterly sales for 2016 for the same resorts. They recorded an increase of 29.9% over the same period in 2015. So that they sold 382,732 points in 2016 versus 294,686 points in 2015. And something you guys don't know about me is that I can't see numbers out loud. So if I said those correctly, this is like a victory for me. So you would probably tell me not to ever be in the banking industry. That would probably be good advice, but here we are. So, 2016 also represented the best calendar year for the direct sales since 2013. In 2016, 1,748,403 points were sold, which was an increase of 7.2 over 2015, in which they sold 1,631,474 points. So this is good news for them. And I believe 2016, they started when? Do you guys recall when they started selling Alani? Was that in 2015?
Oh, I think it was before that.
I think,
before that.
Okay,
because I was there in 2013, so.
Oh, for sure then. Okay, so we're talking about the new resorts would be Poly and the Grand. And let's see, when do we remember when and by do we remember, I mean, does anybody else remember when the Polynesian Resort went on sale for DVC?
Yeah, that would have been 2015.
2015. So that means that they've been hitting it strong, even though that they have not had a new resort to sell this year. Unless, I mean, you can call the Polynesian the new resort, but they don't have a newly opened one. So I think that's interesting.
I was surprised the numbers were so strong.
Yeah.
Although
I have to say, if you look at the resale market, we bought, I think in 2013, and our points are for Saratoga, our points were $62 a point. And I recently sort of, in justification to my husband that DVC was not a bad idea, I looked up the prices and it looked like they were selling in the 80s. So I'm not entirely shocked because you can tell a lot by the floor for the point price because it's sort of set by Disney. So if they really needed to get rid of some points, they would let more go through the waiver process, and they would also lower probably their resale point cost, but they've kept it up at I think $125, right? And for resale through Disney, or not resale, I'm sorry, direct points at the legacy resorts, if you will.
Yeah, direct is around that. Yeah.
Right. So if you're to purchase one of the older resorts, they've kept the price up, and the resale price has gone up by at least $20 a point, even though there are 2 less years on the contract, or 3 less years than when we bought it. So it's a weird sort of market, because there's that false bottom where Disney can exercise their right of first refusal to keep the price up. And I'm pleased, because obviously we chose to not invest in it, but to purchase it. But I have to say, I'm sort of surprised.
Yeah, I think with it's a little bit of a I don't know what the right word to use. It's a misnomer with Saratoga, and having owned since like 2006, I've never seen it where it was actually worth more than we bought it, or even it has always sustained the price right near. But recently, and I'm pretty sure it's because of Disney Springs, there's been a huge uptick in the value of our points at Saratoga, unlike any other resort that I've seen. They've always maintained their value, but Saratoga all of a sudden jumped up, which was really crazy, to the point now that it's actually worth more now than when I bought it. So.
And I actually just had a friend who owned at Bay Lake Tower and sold his 200-point contract at Bay Lake Tower, made about $20 or $21 a point on his Bay Lake Tower contract, and just purchased a resale Saratoga contract to double his points.
Oh wow!
Wow!
So he's doubling down. He's going to purchase another contract from Disney. He's going to do the whole buy a smaller contract to keep his perks, because his original contract from Bay Lake Tower was an original contract from DVC, but he goes because he rents a 2-bedroom, so he rents the bigger villas and he goes every other year. But he sold it. He made it $21 a point, or $20 or $21 more on his per point on his contract. He doubled down on Saratoga and bought double the points. And actually, Disney waived his thing probably in 2 days. It was the end of the year. Wow. He got right through RFR in 48 hours. So he closed very quickly. So I definitely think, and I agree with Brad and you, Emily, Saratoga has definitely, I think with the completion of Disney Springs and it being kind of like a destination now, Saratoga is definitely looking more attractive than it has in the past.
And just for you listeners who are thinking, oh my gosh, I put in a resale contract, I wonder how long our FR is going to take for me. Just so you all know, it did take pretty much the full 30 days for us. So don't anticipate 48 hours. That's stellar, but
that was an end of the year pushing it through. I think that's pretty much what it was.
You almost will never. Don't be discouraged if that doesn't happen to you, because it almost always takes. I think part of the way that DVC disincentivizes people to go resale is by making sure they draw that period out.
Yeah, they've got X amount of time they're allowed to respond, and they usually take the full amount of time.
Right, and that's the right of first refusal.
And it could be that there's just a lot of work for them to do too.
That's true.
Just give them credit that way.
Yeah.
It's a low priority for them to permit us.
Excellent.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
Before we get on with the show, I have to. I just got this breaking news.
This just in,
if you will. This just
so
in.
Excited.
The DVC Merry Member Mixer for DVC members is not going to be offered due to the Moonlight Magic offerings. I got that from a very reliable source.
Oh my!
Who will not be named. Thanks, Brad.
But his initials are Brad Coates.
Oh wait, I thought we're still recording. Never mind.
We are still recording. Here's a little tidbit for those who are interested. When Alani went on sale, July 2010.
Yes. 2010
began timeshare sales in July.
Time is going way too fast.
I'm out of the loop.
But when did the resort actually open?
August 29th, 2011.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay.
According to my source,
I still have to get there.
Google
has the initials Wikipedia. So it might not be right, but this sounds right to me. That sounds right.
One day, there will be a DVC roundtable from whatever roundtable we can find at Alani. How's that sound?
I hope it's there.
Deal.
Because we can afford to fly that out.
Oh,
that'll be our looper meet.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Question for you guys: who has seen Moana?
Not yet. That's
not yet.
I can't raise my hand.
Yeah, I have.
Oh my gosh! Okay, Brad. So you know how amazing it is, right?
Oh yeah, great movie.
Oh my gosh, you guys, you have to see it. It's like I can't like you're talking about Alani, and all I can hear is the soundtrack to. Well, there's a lot of reasons for that because we listen to it 24/7 here, but the soundtrack is amazing, and it's just such a good movie. It is such a compelling movie. You should watch it. That's all I have to say about it. Go see it while it's in
an
theaters.
Instant classic. It really is.
It is. It's so good.
And the wild thing was, I saw it 2 days before we left for our Hawaiian cruise. So
wow.
Oh,
Nice.
how cool is that?
Nice.
yeah, it was really nice.
All right.
Awesome.
I will go this weekend.
There you go.
I'm going to make a declaration that's going to shock and astonish the world. But Moana is now my favorite princess. And I'm so sorry, Aurora. And you will always occupy a special place in my heart. And maybe we could say you tie, but it's probably a lie because Moana is just so amazing.
Wow.
And so I guess she's not really a princess so much as a chieftain, but whatever. She's amazing.
Aurora
She's
just
amazing.
ripped her earbuds
Favorite
out.
princess ever.
Aurora's like, I'm out.
Very good.
Well, I'm sure Disney's going to give her crown and everything because they got to sell the merch.
That's right. There'll be a ceremony.
Right.
She's going to be a princess.
Yeah.
Count.
Oh my.
Nice. Hey, Brad, what do you got?
Well, I have got the breaking news of Star Wars Galactic Nights, which is going to debut at Disney Hollywood Studios on April 14th.
Do you think Star Wars is ever going to take off? I mean, it's just kind of been, we're not sure.
They should probably start hedging their bets a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I actually asked specifically if I could do this particular story, mainly because I just got back from my trip to Disney World, and one of the fact that park is just so wiped out and there's so little there, and you would think that park would not be that enjoyable. And honestly, it was one of my favorite parts of my trip, and it was all because of Star Wars. There was just so many cool things going on. I'm walking down the street, and all of a sudden I hear this, familiar sound, and there's Star Troopers in amongst the crowd. They're just marching around, asking to see people's papers and barking out orders and step out of the way, citizen. And
Nice.
They're so immersing the Star Wars into Hollywood studios that it's pretty amazing. So I tried really hard to book this. They have the Star Wars tour there now too, but unfortunately they only had it available one day that I was there, and it was booked out the minute it came open. But because it was like the second time they did it. But this new Galactic Nights is really cool. It's basically Hollywood Studios' version of the late night party kind of a plan. Mm-hmm. Whereas you have the Christmas party and you have the Halloween party and those kinds of things. That's kind of what this is designed. It's an evening extra event ticket. From what I understand, it's the same kind of thing as far as the time. The park stays open later. You go in around 7, I would imagine. So we don't know because they never say for sure if you can get in at 4, but imagine they'll treat it the same way they do the other parties where you can get in at 4. And it's going to include the events that are there now for Star Wars, the Star Wars fireworks, the stage show, which was excellent. The stage show was great. They're actually going to have a talk show where they're going to have like guest stars from that were part of the movie that will come.
No, did they give us a name for that or no?
Yeah, let me look here real quick. It had a name.
Stars of the Saga, is it?
Yeah. Inside the Saga, celebrity chat show. Mm-hmm.
Because they did Stars of the Saga during Star Wars weekend, and that was just amazing.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like this is kind of that same thing. They just got a different name, but yeah, it's the celebrity chat. It's all the stars from the movies. And they're going to have ask them riveting questions, whatever that means. But I don't know. Are they steel workers? I mean,
like,
guns?
What did you wear under your...
Yes.
Oh, my. Will it be hosted by Sith Lord Letterman? Is that who's going to...
Oh, they're keeping that secret. It's under wraps.
How much do you guys want to bet it's hosted by, I forget what his name is, the guy who voices Obi-Wan in the Rebels series? Almost guaranteed.
Yeah, it could be.
That's who they had as their like host for pretty much all of Star Wars weekends not last year, but a couple of years ago. Last year they did
I remember
the guy
that.
with 3 names. Oh my gosh, I feel so terrible.
Okay,
Not
real
knowing his
quick, real quick around the table. Who would you like to see hosting the talk show?
Ooh,
Joe.
Well,
I am not a Star Wars fan, so I would not be at this event. So I'd be at one of the other parks. So I would have no idea. I don't know.
All right, Tim, you can.
I don't know. R2D2, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a Star Wars guy.
You can hang up on Joe now.
He's
you
gone.
have other redeeming qualities, Joe. You have other
That's
redeeming
true.
qualities.
I'm just not to ruin around the table. I'm just not. I mean, I'm trying to watch
Stop
it.
saying it, Joe.
I've got all the movies. I'm gonna try watching it again. But there's just okay. I'll let you guys go around the table. I'll give you my opinion when I'm done.
Well, I'd go for Yoda myself. But
awesome.
I think that would be awesome.
I thought that would be a good one. Yeah, Yoda would be awesome.
C-3PO would be
You
pretty
know what? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no!
cool. Come on, it'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I kind of thought
Wait, are we
Kylo
talking
Ren,
about
but-
characters?
Talking about protocol.
Yeah.
Right.
Are we
I
talking
thought
about
Kylo
characters
Ren,
or
but-
are we talking about actors?
Oh, it's got to be
Like
characters.
celebrities or
Characters.
okay.
Characters.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Who do you got, Emily?
Well, see, it depends if my husband's listening to this podcast.
Oh,
And he's not. So I'm going to say Ray Park freely.
Oh,
So you may have noticed that I have a thing for Darth Maul.
yes.
And in lieu of Ray Park, whoever the guy is, I forget his name, but I think he was Samoan. Notice also a trend with Moana. He played Jango Fett and Boba Fett and all that. So
yeah.
that guy. So really either Ray Park, or I guess I should say, since we said characters, Darth Maul or Boba Fett.
Okay.
Although they would both be kind of taciturn hosts. So let's see. I guess a chatty one would be Obi-Wan. I think Obi-Wan would be the best host because he kind of threads all the pieces together, and he's
Which one?
he's
Old Obi-Wan or young Obi-Wan?
Ewan McGregor. I don't know which one you want to call him.
Yeah.
but
Okay. He's young Obi-Wan. Right. Yeah.
Let's just really pray that Matt never listens to this podcast. Although I'm pretty sure he already knows my feelings on the saga and its various characters. But Obi-Wan, oh my gosh, yes, Obi-Wan.
Tim,
You're a
what
good
do
man.
you say?
What's that?
Who are you going to have as the host?
I said C-3PO.
C-3PO. Oh, okay, right.
I think it'd be
right.
hilarious.
It would be good, but I'm going to tell you who would the best would be, and that
Ooh.
would be new droid K2SO. from
He's
Rogue.
really great. He is really great.
He's got the greatest sense of
the
humor.
dry humor.
Yeah,
Yes.
that'd be good.
Yeah,
I
so.
could get behind that. Although
There
all
you
the
go.
guests would be worried he was making fun of them the whole time. But I do like the dryness. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Bob,
If
I
you
think
got-
you're onto something.
If you guys
Anyway.
are looking for real people that, like, I guess the actors in it, I did hear, I thought I read something somewhere, and I did a little Googling as you guys were all, talking about who you wanted to see,
Trying to
host
get
this
your
thing.
street cred.
But
I
there
know,
is
I know.
a Star Wars celebration that is taking place at the Orange County Convention Center, April 13th through the 16th. So it's the same weekend. It's a separate non-Disney event, so I'm sure that Disney will probably get somebody who is in one of the movies, one of the sagas, whatever,
It's
to come
probably
over and
gonna be
actually
Warwick for
That's-
sure.
come over and
That's
actually do it.
tiny
There's all kinds of Star Wars stuff going on that weekend, so I would assume that Disney is probably doing this event to tack on to as an extra park ticket event because this is going on in Orlando. Because if you look at it, $129 for an adult, $124 for a child for this extra ticket, I think this is geared towards that crowd. And it's like, oh, there's something else
Right.
going on over at the studio at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Let's go over there for the night, because for this to be an extra park ticket to use for the day, it's much more expensive than a Halloween or a Christmas ticket. So I think this is what Disney's trying to jump on, on the coattails of this other celebration, which from their website looks pretty big. It looks like a pretty big convention.
it's gonna
Now,
be
Orange
huge.
County Convention Center is huge. If you guys aren't aware of that, it's a very big facility. Sure it's not the whole facility, but yeah, this is probably going to be a pretty big deal here. So
That
So
was-
Joe, they already sold out their weekend full. They have I think it's a 4-day convention. They've already sold out all of the 4-day passes, and that was I had originally committed with Tara to go to the celebration and then to do Star Wars Dark Side, which is the following weekend, the Looper meet. But here's the problem with the celebration: it's happening the weekend of Easter. So if you are at all like the family type with the Easter celebrations, then it's not really a great option for you unless you're willing to relocate it to Orlando. So unfortunately, we're not going to be doing these. I think it's Easter weekend.
No, it is.
It is. Yeah. So unfortunately, I mean, we have family things that we do for Easter, and so we can't really go down to Orlando for that. But I think you're totally right, and I think it's not accidental that they're putting it at the evening instead of doing a Star Wars weekend. And and just as a final piece of filler, Warwick Davis, who played Wicket, the Ewok, he was there the Star Wars weekend we did, and I know that he's going to be at the convention, and they're probably going to have a lot of other Star Wars celebs there. And so it is very promising that Disney, I know that they've gotten Ray Park and Warwick Davis and Jeremy Bulloch, who played Boba Fett in the suit, not in the suit, but just in the suit. I have a suspicion that they're going to get pretty much the usual crowd of. They also had Mark Hamill one year, and I think he's going to be at the Celebration convention. So, I mean, it's possible they're going to have some really big names.
Well, sorry to digress, but I think I'm going to spin off and go back to talking about.
That was our tangent alert.
There you go.
I'm gonna.
Fine, Brad.
Sound the tones, Bob. Sound the tones.
No, it's all. This has all been great stuff, and you guys, I'm almost positive. I read an article where that's exactly right. They completely planned it as an extension of what they're doing at Orange County. That was exactly their design, and of course that means they're going to have some great sources. But a couple things. First off, it's adding a lot of the things that are there, but it's actually adding some new stuff for people to be aware of. They're doing a Seize the Saga scavenger hunt, which is going to be a creative, sounds a little bit like, making a magical map kind of an experience. I don't know that exactly how it interacts, but there are interactive puzzles that you'll go about to find that represent the 8 different films, and you have to find different pieces to each film before you put together the whole answer, and eventually you can solve the scavenger hunt. It's got a lot of character event. They have a Rebel Base Galactic Knights event hub, which really sounds interesting. It's going to be, I think it's probably going to be right out there where the stage was before or something, right in that area where they do the stage show. But it's going to actually be a hub where there'll be different projections and things going on during the thing. That's where the motorcade will end up, I think, and so it's actually going to tie in. But the one thing I was going to mention was, Joe, I got to be honest with you, the one thing that as I was looking at all these different things, I think people are going to be surprised that even people who aren't big Star Wars fans are going to enjoy. I don't know if they'll enjoy it enough to pay the $129, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised. But the stuff that's going on with Star Wars right now, even if you don't fully know the whole storyline and have all the movies down, I got a feeling it's kind of like what a lot of people are talking about at Avatar Land. Who cares if you like the movie or not? You're going to love Avatar Land. And I think people are going to love this whole immersive experience with these different characters that are involved into the park. And it also sounds like they're doing during that night. I don't know how that's going to work out, but they're offering the Jedi training and all of that for kids as well. So I don't know if they're doing a nighttime version but.
Yeah, I agree with Brad. I think it's going to be huge for Disney and anybody who, especially those people who do like Star Wars, but even those folks that have never seen it. So,
yeah, I don't think you have to love Star Wars, Joe, to enjoy it. I think have you had a chance to see any of the stuff there, Joe?
I've seen the when the stormtroopers will march down, the Hollywood Boulevard. I've seen the fireworks show, which was actually great. I'm surprised that they didn't, that they stopped it there for a little bit. But I've seen the show where it pops up where the old hat used to be, because that's every hour on the hour.
Right.
So I get it. I just haven't I've only, and like I said, I'm sorry, I've only seen 4, 5, and 6 once. I still have to see the other ones. So I have all the DVDs ready to go. I just need to refresh myself. I do enjoy Star Tours. I do enjoy R2D2 and the other one. What's his name? I'm making myself look bad.
You're hurting me.
The new droid one that came out, the BB-8. Yeah, he's kind of cool. The little trash cans. I'm digging those guys. So.
Oh my!
Wow.
Put it this way: when I'm down there running for Star Wars weekends, I will probably not be stopping for any pictures. Half-marathon course.
They're gonna be looking for you though. That's the guy.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Actually, I would stop for R2D2. He's pretty cool, so I dig him. So
That's hilarious.
Emily has just shut herself up with more Novocaine. So there's.
I'm working on it.
There was enough Novocaine to forget what you said, Joe.
I'm working on it.
I can't unhear it.
Trash can guy.
And hey, don't forget that you do get $10 off if you're a DVC member or annual pass holder. So
that's great.
That counts.
That'll be fun.
Awesome. Emily, I guess we have breaking news coming out.
Yeah, so I was going to announce to you guys that you could get the Dooney DVC bags again. However, I am desperately searching, I tell you, on the Disney Parks site here. I went to the DVC, the Disney Vacation Club homepage. I logged in. It says, it says while supplies last, and it says beginning 11 a.m. on January 23rd.
Oh.
And when I go to either the tote or the messenger, both landing pages send me to a cute little picture of Mike Wazowski saying, "I looked everywhere. You must have the wrong door because I haven't been able to lay my eye on the page you're searching for."
Ooh,
so
interesting.
Oh no!
What I gather from that is that huge surprise, guys, as in not a surprise at all. They have sold out, and this makes me mad. But it is what it is. So what's happening is they sell out really quickly, and not to go on a tangent, but I believe that a lot of them were purchased by non-DVC people, and they are purchased for resale purposes. So, once again, I'm not going to get my DVC bag.
Foiled.
But anyway, guys, it was there for a couple of minutes. So anyway, good.
I've got
good
pictures.
Yeah. The good news is that the 45th anniversary ones are available online. And Rebecca Wattoon was correct that I was able to apply my 20% discount when I purchased online and got a adorable little messenger. So if you do have a 20% discount from either your AP or your DVC membership, do not discount don't discount trying to purchase them online because you may be able to get that discount online. No guarantees, but she said I could, and she was right. So I'm doing a little tweaking to make sure that I'm not misleading you about the availability. But
no problem. Rebecca wished she could be here tonight. She had a little bit of work she had to do, but we're looking for her next month. So
there's really no excuse.
Sometimes the work gets in the way. I know.
That's okay, Rebecca. I'll drink for you. I don't see it anywhere. So I do see. I mean, there's some cute designs available. The Star Wars Shag tote. If you're a Star Wars fan and you're listening to this, they have this Cantina Streamline tote, and it's what I sort of use as my main carrying bag, and it's only $168 plus a discount, which sure beats the personal shopper prices, which is what I paid when it came out, when they sold out in 2 seconds. So anyway, they're available again. So don't start collecting Dooney bags because it will drive you to insanity. And that is the end of my tangent.
And
then you're hooked on Novocaine.
Well, let me ask you, Emily, because you're a big Dooney fan. Some of the images that were going to be on included the Walt Disney World monorail, Bay Lake Tower, a sea turtle for Vero Beach, the lobby statue from Disney's Polynesian Villas, and everyone's favorite Hilton Head mascot Shadow,
who is awesome, by the way.
Who is awesome. You're exactly right, Joe. Which would you have wished to purchase?
Which of the two bags you mean, or
are all of those images on the bags?
They are all on the bags. Big collage.
Gotcha.
And if you're asking about placement, which is a bag thing, which is where you want what you would like to be prominently featured, there's little sailboats, and I think I would have picked a sailboat to be featured prominently, although I do like the sea turtles a lot too. So yeah, it's a really pretty design. It features like a blue and a teal. So hopefully, I mean, sometimes when they have repeated offerings and then sellouts, they do offer the bag in more sustained way. So it could be that they, see that it's selling out in 2 days every time. So they actually purchase. I don't know how Dooney does it, but there are some of the more popular designs. Yeah, some of the more popular designs they start stocking. So, yeah, I'm gonna be patient about this one and not freak out just yet, because it seems like it's a popular enough design that they have an incentive to make some more of them. So yeah. Nice. But I will say a disappointing word from the purse world, if anybody's following along. The Harvey's bags, I guess, are no longer going to be placed at Disney World. Word is that they just weren't selling as popularly as Dooney, which is unfortunate. Harvey's are the seatbelt style bags, which are my favorite. And so that's a little bit of a bummer, because part of the fun of Harvey's is it's a little bit of an alternative style versus the Dooneys, which are just kind of like your classic leather handbag thing.
Right.
So Harvey's are still going to be partnering with Disney, it looks like. And this is unofficial. This is what I've heard. Harvey's is still going to be offering Disney. They still have a contract with Disney, so they're still going to be like doing Disney sort of licensed designs. They have a new 101 Dalmatian style bag, which is white and black and things with spots on it. And so they're still going to be making Disney bags. They're just not going to be sold in the parks or online through the Disney site. They'll still be available on the Harvey's site. So if you're a Harvey's fan, which is the other sort of, I guess, upscale bag that they offer, those will be you'll have to go to the Harvey's site for that. And then Spartina is a new brand that they've sort of been integrating the last couple of years. They're made in Defusky Island, so it kind of ties into the Hilton Head thing, because Defusky is right near Hilton Head in South Carolina. Those are really cute too, and they have sort of more, trying to think of the verbiage to use, but like sort of like country clubby kind of designs. And they're really pretty. They're pretty stylish, but the price point is a little bit lower, which is nice. So you can get like a nice wallet for, under $100. So unlike the Doonies, where you can get a wristlet for $98. So,
ooh, those are for almost coach prices.
Wow, those are pricey.
Yeah, and the honest truth about Doonies, and I hate to denigrate them or anything like that, but the leather, they're printing on the leather, and so it doesn't feel as like supple as like a raw leather purse or anything like that. So you really are kind of just buying the Disney and the Dooney names versus sort of anything super quality associated, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get the final word from Joe about Caribbean Beach.
Let's go, Joe.
Okay, real quick, just for all you guys out there, if you're interested, there's a 70% off sale on DVC Tommy Bahama shirts. So just for the guys out there.
Seriously?
I've sold it online,
wow.
70% off. Certain
and
styles
actually, I went online to buy that shirt, and it's sold out.
Okay,
Yes, it is.
It's not. So.
The blue one.
It was there at one time. So speaking of,
I just looked today. Yeah, but the other one is available, I think. But the one Tommy Bahama, the blue one they're showing, was sold out.
All right,
bummer.
Well, speaking of Tommy Bahama and Caribbean Beach, for all you loyal loopers out there that have been listening to us ramble on for every month, when we had Len Testa on last summer in June, we first talked about he talked about possible rumors of DVC coming to Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, and it looks like that's gonna be possibly coming true. It looks like that plans and permits have been finally filed for the rumored Disney Vacation Club wing expansion at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. The permits will show that there's a large multi-story building that will likely be part of the DVC wing, as well as 6 other new structures, and some replacing existing structures over in the Barbados Village section. So for all you Caribbean Beach people like to go there, that looks like the Barbados section's going to see some buildings being removed. Looks like 2 or 3 they're going to be removing. Also looks like they're going to improve some of the roadways and waterway improvements in there. There was some rumors on some different websites, such as WDW News Today, and over at looks like just to give proper credit, www.magic.com, that they were going to try to maybe incorporate the waterways into connecting some of the other, like the theme parks like Hollywood Studios, but that's probably not going to happen. But it looks like they're going to be uprooting some buildings, putting in one larger building, installing a couple new ponds. And this will be this is all taking place on the west side of the resort. So if you're kind of looking at the map of Caribbean Beach and of Walt Disney World, this will be on the western part of the resort. This will be the first of its kind. DVC being in the quote unquote moderate, which we've discussed in the past if there's going to be a difference in points. And it looks like they're making it's going to be like a large improvement with pools and some other things. I don't know if this is going to be discounted points. Yeah. This looks like this might be a full point kind of deal, but only time will tell. But the paperwork has been filed with the South Florida Water Management District, and we'll see. But it has a possible an estimated completion date of between about 2019.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm sure there will be more reports coming out about this as the months roll on here.
I got a question for you guys because I'm a little bit confused. I'm looking at the Disney collection for DVC, and at the bottom of this chart, it gives the points to book in the different seasons for each of the resorts. For example, Animal Kingdom Lodge in value season is going to be $37 a point during the week, or for the weekend. 37 points. Yeah, I'm sorry, 37 points for the weekend. 40 if you're in the what's the P? The pool view. Savannah.
Maybe preferred view.
Preferred view or pool view. Yeah. And Savannah View is going to be $47. So Savannah View courtyard or club level is 55 points. But then I go down to the bottom, and I got all of that, but I was looking for the Caribbean Beach, which is 19 for a studio, 22 for pool view or water view, 23 for pirate themed rooms, which would be kind of cool, standard view, and 30 for pirate view, water view. But here's what I didn't get. They also have Disney's Port Orleans Resort and Disney's Art of Animation Resort.
Yeah, that's what it is. What it is that those points that you're seeing on those resorts that are not officially DVC, they rent through what's called the Disney Collection.
Okay.
So that's things you can rent with your points that technically are not DVC. The tendency usually is the points are a little bit high. Like I can rent for Disneyland Hotel, right, which I've had to do multiple times because it's hard to get in the Grand Californian. So they're part of the Disney Collection. So you can basically at Walt Disney World, you can pretty much, I think, rent everywhere except for maybe the other values. I don't know if the values are in there, but the value plus the Art of Animation is, and all the moderates.
But it's not a great value because because you could get a standard studio at Boardwalk for 10 points. That's always like my baseline. So you're going to pay 30 points for a room over at Caribbean Beach. That's not even a DVC room with no kitchen, none of those amenities, and you're paying like triple the price. So they're available, but it's a bad use of. I mean, if you got the points to burn, bless your heart. But it's you can do it.
There really isn't anything that's a great value, quote unquote, inside
except using it for what you're. The only value is using
what you want to do.
It's supposed to be used for. Yeah, that's pretty much
exactly. Hey, I want to try a new resort, and I've never stayed there, and why not use my DVC points? And to me, it's usually easier, better to rent my points and pay cash because I come out ahead. But yeah.
Now, have you guys looked at the plans for this that's been online for the Caribbean?
Yeah, I have looked at it pretty extensively.
It looks like it's going to be just one long building.
Yeah, and that's why we can't really tell it's multiple level, but they said they've floated some hype balloons, and plus with the shape of that, it looks like, and it wouldn't make sense to do all that tearing apart and then make that a one level. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be just one. It's a pretty good sized building, but it's very different than what's there now. And what's there now is like bungalow, almost like 4, 8 rooms in a building, and then you move on to another building. This is one huge, L-shaped type, kind of like a building.
And I'm trying to think that Boardwalk and those resorts, those are 3 or 4 floors.
2.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I'm thinking it's gonna probably be something like something like Boardwalk, where it's like 3 or 4 floors. Like it's not gonna be any higher than that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm just guessing just by looking.
You wouldn't think, because they're always worried about sightlines, so they're not going to let it go up 5-6 stories and then get up above where it blocks the view and can be.
But I think it's cool. I think this is cool. I think that it's, number one, I always believe that there should still be regular rooms. Like, I don't think Disney should turn into a whole DVC resort. That's not good. Mm-hmm. But I like the way that they're going to incorporate some extra DVC rooms into here, as well as keeping regular rooms, because I've stayed at Caribbean Beach once and I liked it. I think it was great. But I wouldn't want to see the whole resort turn into a DVC. I think it's nice to have that mixture of DVC rooms as well as the regular rooms. You don't want the whole resort to be DVC. I mean, it's...
Don't you think that maybe what they're going to do with this is, I think it's part of what you said earlier, because everybody's battled with that. There's going to be, lower points, and then there's going to create this, moderate DVC model. I agree. I think what they're going to do is they're going to make those rooms palatable, make them more enjoyable, or add some bennies to it, to where it rises to the level of some of the lower point resorts now, like Animal Kingdom and Wilderness Lodge.
Absolutely.
You can get in there for not too many points, but it'll still be in that quality category of a deluxe, even though it's in the heart of a moderate resort.
And I guarantee that, it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of rooms. I mean, even if it's just one little building, it looks really small. It looks like it's going to be small. This thing will be booked constantly because of its proximity to Epcot. It's proximity to I think it's Victory. Was that Wide World of Sports is right next to it or right below it? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's in a good spot. I mean, that's going to be something that's going to be full. I mean, in my opinion,
it's pretty close to the water parks and
it's in a good spot,
good location,
and it's going to be a good point. It's going to be a good point average, so it's going to be one that people are wanting to not use too many points are going to jump on that. Plus, they're cool, and you know what? For a mod, I'm with you. That resort is a very enjoyable resort. That's one of my favorite pools.
Yeah. Are they going to have to put elevators in that building? Because there's no other elevators at Caribbean Beach.
I'm sure that there's new laws about that. Because I remember in Hilton Head, they didn't have elevators except for 1 or 2 of the main buildings. But I would think that Disney World is such a handicap accessible place that I think that Caribbean Beach was the first moderate built. That was back in 89, 88, 89. Right. So things have changed a lot since it was built. So I'm thinking that they're probably going to definitely put elevators, especially if it's a DVC property. People are not going to want to take the stairs 3 or 4 floors. They're going to put that in there, make it more
convenient. If
more
than 2 floors, they're going to put in elevators.
Absolutely,
yeah, because people are taking groceries in there and things like that. So, all right. Well, hey, Tim.
Stuff. Yes.
Where are we going to get our DVC spotlight from today?
Well, good friend of the show, one of our contributors, Mr. Chris Malick, couldn't be here, but he sent us a Disney DVC spotlight, and we're going to roll that now. Take it away, Chris.
Hi guys, this is Chris Malick, part of the DVC Roundtable, doing a special segment, calling in, I guess you'd say, with a DVC Resort Spotlight. And this month I volunteered to do a brief review of the Grand Californian at Disneyland. So I know it's been touched on by Brad a couple months ago, but we went to the Grand Californian January 1st through January 7th. And we stayed in a 1-bedroom DVC villa. So I won't give you the whole trip report. I won't bore you with that. But just wanted to give you some highlights of the trip. So we landed at SNA, which is the John Wayne International Airport. And they don't have a Magical Express. They have a Disneyland Resort Express. But if you go online and try and reserve transportation, it's a little difficult. It's not as easy to arrange transportation as the Vacation Kingdom of the World down in Orlando, Florida. But there is a company called Southern Grey Line who has leased out operations and kind of uses the Disneyland name. So that bus, you have to purchase those tickets. It's not free. But there's a small walk from the terminal to the bus station, and it's about a 20, maybe 25-minute ride to Disneyland. So the 3 hotels are all in close proximity: Paradise Pier, the Disneyland Hotel, and the Grand Californian. They're all fairly close in proximity. But when you pull into the Grand Californian, which was the second resort the bus stops at, the first is the Disneyland Hotel, the Grand Californian's next, and Paradise Pier is third. It's hard to describe. I like to go and tell you there's something on property close to it. and there really is not. It's a little more, I want to say cozy or comfortable than the Wilderness Lodge. Not quite as lodge-ish, and yet it's more refined than the Wilderness Lodge. And I know I'm a big fan of the Wilderness Lodge. It's not quite as opulent as the Grand Floridian, but yet it has its own Californian mission-style architecture opulence to it. So when you walk in from when the bus drops you off, there's no doors. There's actually just a hallway into the reservation area. But as soon as you walk in, I can tell you I've walked into every resort on property except the value resorts over at Walt Disney World. And this was something unique. This was something different. When you walked in, it was the warm color of the woods, the mahogany color of the woods, and the right angle of the architecture where the lines in the mission style kind of match up. And there was just something different about this when you walked in. You felt like warmed and grabbed by it when you walked in. So, needless to say, it was my first time at Disneyland, first time at the Grand Californian. I immediately felt like this is weird. Like when you walk in with the DVC card, you feel like, oh, I've achieved something. I purchased DVC. I can enjoy vacations forever. But when you walked in with the DVC card to the Grand Californian, it was like there were angels like going, oh, from behind you when you were walking in. It was enjoyable. So, needless to say, I was checked in by a gentleman named Dennis, and Dennis couldn't have taken longer to check us in. It's not a bad thing. I don't mean it to come across that way. He was as diligent and as thorough as I've ever had a front desk agent check someone in. He wanted to explain everything to us, and he was so polite and so friendly. He stopped to talk to my daughter at check-in. It was just the kind of experience you would expect at the Grand Californian. So the way the hotel is situated, it's not linear. It goes in different directions. Part of the wing shoots off north, then another wing shoots off like west east, and then it wraps around itself. It's a little bizarre, but all the DVC rooms are contained essentially in one wing of the resort. When we got there on Sunday the 1st, and my daughter was fighting a little ear infection, so we kind of dealt with that throughout the vacation. But the pool was only open for 2 days, and I was a little dismayed because the pool was open for 2 days. Right, you're checking in on the 1st and the 2nd, but on the 3rd they're undergoing a 4 or 5 month complete refurbishment. Well, at that point, you're staying at one of the nicest resorts on property. You're expecting to get full out amenities all the time, so I was a little dismayed. Until you realize California in January is not quite like California, not quite like Florida in January. It's cold. 60-degree highs, mid-50s, so no problem. But the pool itself was just gorgeous. They had cabanas for rent. There was several different pools all in the same proximity. The water side was really pretty cool. It was around a what would look like a tree, a sequoia tree. So I'd like to describe the lobby better, other than saying it's just a more intimate version of the Wilderness Lodge hybrid mixed with the Grand Floridian. But it's very difficult to describe. There's hallways going off in different directions. One hallway takes you to the back entrance of the Grand Californian. The California Adventure Theme Park. One hallway takes you right into their version of Downtown Disney, which then offers you a walk right into Disneyland. So it's really well thought of how they've placed it, and it's the most convenient hotel if you're staying at Disneyland for vacation. Though I know not everyone gets this opportunity just based on its price point. But it's the most convenient. Paradise Pier, you'd have a little bit of struggle. You have to walk into Downtown Disney and take the monorail through. And the same for the Disneyland Hotel. But there are some fine dining restaurants. Obviously, Napa Rose is the number one. Well, we didn't go. We have 3 kids with us. But we did go to the Storytellers Cafe for a Sunday brunch. On the last day, or I guess it would have been a Saturday brunch, and that was really special. That was pretty cool. They had Chip and Dale, one of the Brother Bears, come by. They had Pluto come by, and the food was spectacular. All the food on property was spectacular. Heck, I can't even complain about the food for the Whitewater Snacks, which was the quick service. That was really good. But there's some vacation fueled in there, so everything tastes really good on vacation. The room is, I will say, it was the nicest room we've ever had on property. The view was loud. Our view actually overlooked Paradise Pier, so we saw the World of Color every night. We saw it at its program time, 8 o'clock or 8:30, and then again at 10 o'clock. Well, what you don't know is we also saw it at 12, we also saw it at 2, and we also saw it at about 4:30 in the morning. And this show goes off every night, multiple times during the night. And they're testing the show, and they're making sure all the fireworks and all the water jets shoot in unison. So, I'm a fool. I like to leave the window, the blinds open at nighttime. So I saw that show 5 times a night. So you think that was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome for the first day. And the smarter man than me would have closed the blinds, but I insisted upon getting all my money's worth. Now, right where the World of Color is also the California Screamin' roller coaster. There's a Goofy's Learn to Fly kiddie coaster. There's a bunch of attractions right there. So, yeah, it was loud, but when you're there and you're on vacation, it could have been 3 times as loud, and it was still enjoyable. But the room itself, it was a standard DVC design as far as the bathroom goes and as far as the bedroom goes. The front, I've been told the word front room is a Chicago term, but the front room, the sitting area, that was pretty much just standard. It had a fold-out couch, but it had a daybed that came from the wall above the biggest flat-screen TV I've ever seen in a DVC room. It was a space in the kitchen. It was the long, exaggerated hallway. It was the full bath with shower, and then the other full bath with shower in the property. Combine that with the long hallway. It was the nicest property I've ever stayed on. And though one of the front desk agents said that the whole resort was going to undergo a renovation, you'd hardly tell because it was in really great shape. And I've stayed at the boardwalk before, and the boardwalk, at least the room that I stayed in, felt, I don't want to say tired, but it felt tired. It felt kind of like it needed the refurbishment. This didn't. So this still felt fresh, and it felt crisp. And, my wife and I, when we walked in, we've stayed at other resorts in similar styles, 1-bedrooms. And they're nice. They're special. I stayed at an Animal Kingdom lodge that was really special. But when we stayed here, we both kind of looked at each other and said, holy moly, this is something really unique. So, but that was a 1-bedroom, and, it was frankly, it was a year and a half's worth of DVC points to afford the trip. So I would have expected it to be such. The other hotels at Disneyland and the Paradise Pier do not offer DVC, though you can reserve a hotel room. But at that point, if you're committing to a trip, you may want to consider just saving up just to get the Grand Californian. Again, its proximity to the parks and its proximity to downtown Disney is the best on property. Interesting tidbit, even though I didn't really do any research, I was under the impression that the monorail stopped at the Grand Californian. And the monorail passes through the Grand Californian, but there's actually no station there. There's no terminal there. We're kind of spoiled in Florida. The monorail, it stops at the Polynesian, it stops at the Floridian, it stops at the Contemporary, it stops at the TTC, and we're just used to getting on and off. Well, the monorail stops at downtown Disney, and it stops fairly close to Disneyland, in Tomorrowland, and that's it. It just takes a circuitous route through there. It passes through California Adventure, it passes through the Grand Californian, but it doesn't actually stop there. So if you go there with the thought that you'll just catch the monorail, well, you can do that, but you've got to leave, go through downtown Disney, walk up, the station, and then board it there. It's not a direct access to it. So, again, quick summary. I know it's been long, and I appreciate you sticking with me. The warmest, most enveloping resort I've ever stayed at. The room was spectacular. Storytellers Cafe was spectacular. The snacks were spectacular. I don't have a whole lot bad to say about the property. Even, the Disney experience from the people that checked us with, our herd of luggage that we brought through. They were on point. They knew what to do, and they made you feel like you were Thurston Howell for the day. And if you catch that reference, I know how old you are because you're older than me or my age. So outside of that, guys, I appreciate that. And if you ever have a chance to visit the Grand Californian, please do so. I know we're on the Resort Loop show, but if you check out my webpage or my Facebook page, which is Chris Malick, though it might have been on my show's page as well too, and that's the WW Review, you'll see actually a walkthrough for the 1-bedroom. So feel free to check that out. All right, guys, thank you. Thank you, Bob and Tim.
Hey, Chris, thank you very much. That was awesome. Anybody,
That was
Amazing.
awesome.
Anybody else want to go to the Grand Californian now?
I totally want to go.
But I tell you, and I did notice this when we were in California. I know Brad has stayed there, but just the fact that it's so close to the parks, I can see where some of the noise might get to you, especially if they're and I never thought of this. I thought about the roller coasters running and the kids screaming and people screaming, having a good time, the fireworks and all of that. But I never thought about when they would be practicing these shows, the World of Color and the fireworks shows.
Right.
They got to practice them sometimes.
They do. And
most of the time, you're far enough away, I suppose, from the Walt Disney World parks that you're not going to get that kind of noise. So, yeah, thank you, Chris. We really appreciate it. We can't wait to have you back on the show when you can. And Tim.
Yes, Bob.
Before we go.
Yo.
I just personally want to say a shout out from you and me.
Yes.
To the wonderful young Auden, who listens to our show quite a bit. And Auden's, her grandmother sent us a wonderful little note.
Oh, yeah.
About how much she loves listening to the show. So, Auden, thank you so much for listening to the show. We really appreciate you. And now she is one of our little super loopers.
Oh, we love our little loopers.
There you go. So,
awesome.
Tim, that is all I've got.
Awesome. Before I wrap it up, Joe, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at JoeQuat and at running team at ResortLoop.com for our Rocketeers that Emily and I are captains of. So send us an email over there and we'll get you on the team.
Fantastic. Speaking of Emily, where can people find you?
They can find me right on the Resort Loop Rocketeers site, or they can find me on Twitter at FirstComesWDW, or they can find me at cruising around the Looper Nation Live site.
Fantastic. How about you, Brad?
Well, you can find me at Papa Mouse 1 on Twitter and hanging out in the Facebook page for Resort Loop a little bit and hang out a lot with the Diz Dads. And also find me at Brad Coates on Facebook.
Fantastic. Everybody, thanks for joining us for the DVC Roundtable, one of our favorite shows. I'm Tim Scott. You can find me on Twitter at ResortLoop Tim, on Facebook at Tim Scott, and still that website, ResortLoop.com.
I'm ResortLoop Bob on the Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, rate us on iTunes. By the way, we got some very exciting news coming in February. Stay tuned for that.
So true.
And I think we might just have a really cool show for our 4th anniversary, Tim.
Get out of town.
Well, we might. We'll see.
Okay.
It'll now fall through because I mentioned it. But
probably.
What else should people do, Tim?
Everyone, please go out there with your friends, family, and all your social media buddies and share the Gateway to the Magic.
See you, everybody. With 4 theme parks, 25 resort hotels, hundreds of dining and shopping locations, and seemingly innumerable special events and ticket options, planning a trip to Walt Disney World can seem overwhelming. That's why the ResortLoop.com podcast has teamed up with People Mover Travel to help you get the most magic out of your Disney vacation. People Mover Travel will walk you through every aspect of your next Disney trip, from ensuring you get the best discounts to FastPass Plus and dining reservations and so many other things. Best of all, there is no fee for their service. That's right, you get your very own expert Disney vacation planner at no cost to you. For more information and to request a free, no-obligation quote, visit peoplemovertravel.com.